Pittsburgh Sports Now, Zach Weiss with a name you know, although he's giving me crap because it's been a minute. But Dan Burt, a much happier Dan Burt. Dan, you went on the road, you messed around, and you got 2 wins. Dan, just can you talk about just the attitude now, being back on track and being back together?
I wasn't sad when we had the little 3-game losing streak. I was a little bit disappointed with some of our performance. But when you're playing 6 freshmen like we are, we're going to have times when we are not quite where we need to be, or we're not a finished product. I keep telling people keep buying stock because the dividends will pay in March. And our dividends certainly paid over this 2-game road trip. The kids were outstanding. Against St. Joe's, they executed the game plan perfectly. And against George Washington, their effort was perfect. Our execution wasn't perfect, but our effort was perfect. And we came away with a really, really quality 2 wins.
Coach Rick said it in practice today. You don't win the Wednesday game on Wednesday, you win it with Monday and Tuesday, and how you all handled that practice. How important was it to center yourselves as a group, come together, and just put 2 really crucial days together for that group?
Well, I can say that dividends pay in March, but the players need to understand that they need to be where their feet are, and that's every day, just being where we are, not worrying about talking about championships or the A10 tournament or postseason play. We have to be where our feet are every single day. It's my job as the leader, as the head coach, to set the vision and worry about those things. Everybody else in our program underneath me, though, they need to worry about where their feet are today.
One player we don't talk about enough and doesn't get, well, there's 2 that I wanted to hit on, but I first want to hit on Raina, and specifically the effort she had defensively against Brugler of St. Joe's, just really how locked in she came, defensive oriented, but just how happy are you with just what she's been able to provide for you all?
Raina gives up legitimately 5 inches, maybe even 6 inches to Brugler. But what Raina has is she's got strength. She's incredibly powerful and incredibly strong, and plays with a great motor and great will to win. It's really important to her. And so she played a great game. She boxed out. She has a great vertical, so she jumped fantastic to go for rebounds, and just played a great game with great effort. And that doesn't happen alone. When we played the goalie defense there, that also really helped her be able to contain someone who's that much bigger than her.
And the other is Faith, a player that in a sense reminds me role-wise in a way of Millie Gronish, just sacrificing herself and just understanding team. It's a very thankless role in some respects.
That's a very good analogy, and bringing back a player that hasn't been mentioned in a long time. Millie was an outstanding player for us that sacrificed individual statistics. Very different in terms of their play style.
Yes.
With Faith, it's a situation where she has got an IQ that we didn't realize that she has. Twice in the George Washington game, in transition, she set pin down screens to get Mac open threes, and Mac was the rookie of the week this week, and she can thank Faith for a couple of those shots. But whether it's on offense or defense, her IQ is very high, and frankly, she could play point guard for us and will at times. She's very good at distributing the ball. She handles it well. She handles it with speed and quickness. And once we get that 3-point shot down, she's an all-conference player.
When you look at things centering yourself, how maybe good was it to be on the road for those 2 games? There's no distractions, just yourselves and having to force yourselves to figure it out.
I had an assistant coach mention that to me, that it was good for us to be just together on the road. I feel like our kids are all committed to one goal, and that goal is what happens in March, and they look at it from a daily basis. And it's a special group. It's a special group, and this is a special year. We're really excited about what they're bringing to us. We're playing 6 freshmen. There's no one else in the league that's playing 6 freshmen and having the success that we are. But we're not worried about other people in the league. We're worried about the 6 freshmen and Meg and H and Keandra and the others, Journey. And it's just been a really good group, and we've been able to play all 12 and have success.
It's also the format of the road trip. It would have been easy and understandable if you decide to go home for a day after Joe's, but you stay where your feet are. It's about 2 hours or so, give or take, to
actually 3.
3.
And because of President Carter's lying in state, there was a lot of traffic that we encountered. So it was really about a 3.5-hour drive to our hotel, and it's good to have a day where we're together. We were able to go to the U.S. Capitol. I thought it was really important for our players to be a part of something like that. It was really profound, especially for our international players. They took a deep interest in what our U.S. Capitol represents, and how our laws work, and how our society and our democracy works. And that makes me really proud as a coach that our internationals are so wanting to learn more about the United States.
And as a follow to that, talking with Journey earlier a couple weeks ago, she mentioned something that drew her here was how you prioritized academics, and that's a shining moment of it. Just how important are those opportunities to educate and use the academics to do that for you?
So many Division I schools, it's airport, hotel, gym, back to the airport. And anytime you go on the road, it is a business trip, but we're educators, and we should be educators first. I don't care what happens in Division I with paying players and things like that. We don't do that with Duquesne women's basketball. So I look at myself as an educator, and anytime that we go on the road and we have a little bit of time for our players to see the White House, to go to the U.S. Capitol, to go to Times Square in New York, to go to the 9/11 Memorial, or wherever it may be, I want them to have experiences that will have a profound effect on the rest of their lives.
And we'll get you out of here on this one, Dan. You said to me during practice today, with that swagger back, I wouldn't want to play us right now. Just how special is that to have that feeling? It's always there, but to just have that feeling and have it echo across the board.
Well, I think that I failed the kids for a couple games with our substitution pattern, and blame me for those losses. We kind of got away from the shifts, and so we're back to subbing 4 and 5 at a time. And frankly, only Meg can play extended minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. Everyone else, we're sprinting constantly in transition from offense to defense and vice versa. We need to play as hard as we can for 2 minutes and then sub, and that keeps us fresh. And frankly, it just wears down your opponent. The other team that's playing this style is Tennessee women, and Kim, who's a good friend, Coach Caldwell there, said it best. She said, you're going to hate playing against us. It's not fun when you have someone in your face constantly for 40 minutes. I look at it as like bees around a hive. When you see bees around a hive, it's constantly buzzing and flying around, and that's what we look like when we stay fresh and we sub every 2.